Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this another test video with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, today we're going to do a deep dive into weeds. When FS22 first came out, weeds were pretty simple. If you had weeds in your crop when you harvested, there was a yield penalty. If you got rid of those weeds by spraying, you gained some of that back. If you wanted all of the yield penalty back, you needed to use a mechanical weeder. Then a while ago, we are at version 1.9 right now when I'm doing this. So quite a while ago, really, precision farming came out. And in order to get a 100% environmental score, you needed to spot spray the weeds. Well, I've been watching a few content creators, and I've been asking a few of my friends as well, is that um, penalty for using herbicide still in place with precision farming? And no one seems to know for sure. So I thought, you know what? I am going to do an in-depth video on weeds and figure this out. I suppose I could have gone digging around and looking at change logs and things like that, but heck, where's the fun in that? So what we're going to do, we are going to put barley in this field because barley yields fairly high, and we are here on Elm Creek base game map. And I currently have everything turned off. If we take a look at the settings, crop destruction, plowing, fieldstone, lime, weeds, all off. So we're going to put barley in here, we're going to harvest it, and we're going to see what our yield is, and that's going to be our baseline. Because I'm using a direct drill and not plowing, we should then be able to reseed it and get weeds. And I will harvest it with the weeds in, and then I will use a mechanical weeder to get rid of the weeds, harvest it again, and see what the yield is, and then I'll do the same thing and I'll use spot sprayer to get rid of the weeds. So that basically will confirm, I suspect, that the base game without precision farming is as it always was. Then I'm going to turn precision farming on and repeat that entire process and see what the yields are. And then we will know. So I've got our lineup of equipment here. You can see I've got green all on one side and a couple reds over here. I have to keep them separated or they'll fight. They just don't get along. But this is the only self-propelled sprayer on console that I'm aware of that has both the crop sensors for precision farming and the See and Spray available. And it's a Case Trident. So I know I've said in some of my videos, if you've watched my channel, that there were no such sprayers, but I was wrong. The Trident does it. So I thought I'd show them just to prove myself wrong, I guess. So I am not going to make you sit and watch all of this. What I'll do is I'm going to, like I've been doing on my recent test videos, do most of the work off screen and just bring you back for the results. So I'm going to get after this. I'll probably let you know what the base yield is. Then I'll do all the other tests and do a quick update at that point and then repeat for precision farming. So for you, I'll see you in just a second. For me, it's going to be a little while. So talk to you soon. There we go. Our first harvest is done. Again, this is with everything turned off, base game. We got 60,089 liters. I changed out the John Deere harvester for this Colossus because it has a gigantic capacity, and also when you put it on Unreal mode, you can harvest at 70 kilometers an hour. So that really speeds up the harvesting process. So now, just as a reminder, I'm going to go ahead and turn weeds on. You go in here. So I'll replant the field and we will harvest it, leaving the weeds in the field, then taking the weeds out with the weeder and then the herbicide, and we'll compare all those yields. So I'll bring you back in when I get that done. See you in a little while. Well, there we go. All the field work for the testing is done. I changed my mind and decided I'm going to share all of the results at the end of the video. Just from an editing perspective, it was easier than splitting them in half between base game and precision farming. And as usual of late, I didn't show or record any of the field work. I did it all off camera. I know when I'm watching the test videos, I'm mostly interested in the results. So just to keep things short and sweet, that's what I did. But if anybody has any questions on specifically what I did, you can certainly raise those in the comments and I'll respond to them. And I did keep the green and red team from spatting. They actually work quite well together, so that was nice. So anyway, without any further kibitzing, let's get on to the results. Well, there we have the results for the base game, and no surprises there at all. With the weeds off, we've got 60,000 liters in round numbers. We'll call that 100%. When we leave the weeds in the fields and harvest, we've got 54,000 liters, or 90% of the yield. With the weeds removed mechanically, we got back up to 60,000 liters, or 100%. And with the weeds removed with herbicide, 57,000 liters, or 95%. Like I said, no surprises there. So let's jump over to precision farming. Well, there's our results with precision farming turned on. I repeated the exact same process I did under base game. So with the weeds off, in round numbers, we got a yield of 68,000. So we'll call that 100% again. An interesting thing to note is that we got a higher yield than we did under base game. I forgot precision farming gave you a yield bump. One thing I didn't think about though was the environmental score. The best we could accomplish was 85, which gave us a bonus of 10%. And that's of course because we had no weeds to do anything to. And so if we were to sell that barley, in this case, the crop we were using, at peak price here on Elm Creek on normal economy, we would have netted $50,777. Next, left the weeds in the field and harvested, and we got, in round numbers, 63,500, or 93%. Again, an environmental score of 85 with a bonus of 10. And if we were to sell that crop at peak, we would have gained $47,440. Next, I removed the weeds mechanically, and we got back up to our 68,000, or 100%. But this time our environmental score did come up because we did get rid of the weeds. It came up to 92. That gave us a 13% bonus, and selling at peak would have been $52,092. And lastly, with the weeds removed using herbicide, we did take a yield hit again. Came down to 63,500, or 93%, the same as leaving the weeds in the field, interestingly enough. Environmental score, of course, came up to 100%, so we got the full 15% bonus, and selling at peak price, we would have got 49,598. So the moral of this story is that even though removing the weeds with herbicide does get you a full environmental score, if you're looking for the most money, you're better off to remove the weeds mechanically, because the increased environmental score can't overcome the loss in yield. So I guess we have our answer. So what you have to decide, I guess, is the extra time it takes to do mechanical weeding worth the 7% increase in crop yield, which, because of the environmental score, if you're just selling it, will translate to a 5% increase in revenue, or you can just save the time and do the spot spray. But for this test, we'll call it complete. So if you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. If you found it entertaining or informative in any way, I encourage you to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, hit that notification bell. But until next time, this is Farmer Murphy, signing off.